in 4 years for dinner with my wife. The restaurants were all closing because people were afraid, even if they were in the restaurant, it didn't matter. They were held up. You know, guys would walk in with guns into a restaurant. And that's over. It's not happening. It's now safe.
U.S. President Donald Trump has dismissed claims that he declared war against Chicago and labeled such allegations as fake news. He argued that his administration is not waging a war, but instead responding to what he sees as a crisis of violence and lawlessness in American cities. Trump defended his targeting of Chicago and Boston by citing rising rates of violent crime and drug-related incidents. According to him, these federal crackdowns are meant to restore order and protect law-abiding citizens from the dangers of unchecked criminal activity. However, Illinois leaders and community advocates have accused the president of playing politics rather than addressing root causes of violence. They argue that bringing federal forces into local communities only escalates tensions rather than fostering solutions. Many believe that the real motivation behind these moves is to appeal to Trump's political base and to project a tough-on-crime image rather than focusing on meaningful reforms. Critics have emphasized that such measures often overlook the struggles of communities of color, particularly Black neighborhoods that have historically faced systemic inequities. Faith leaders in Chicago and Boston have spoken out strongly on this issue. Many pastors, ministers, and church-based organizations insist that faith communities have long been on the front lines, working to heal divisions and provide opportunities for young people in vulnerable neighborhoods. They have stressed that violence cannot be solved by military-style interventions, but by programs that focus on education, job creation, and mentoring. The Black church in particular has played a historic role in guiding communities through times of crisis and continues to do so today by offering not just spiritual guidance, but also practical outreach programs. The faith community has also called on the federal government to invest in mental health services, substance abuse recovery, and youth empowerment initiatives, rather than deploying tactical units into neighborhoods where trust with law enforcement is already strained. They argue that true peace comes from justice, fairness, and opportunity, and that communities thrive when residents feel valued and respected, rather than treated as targets for federal crackdowns. Members of the Black community have expressed frustration over what they view as a double standard. They see federal crackdowns in their neighborhoods as punishment rather than partnership, while wealthier areas facing issues like opioid addiction receive treatment-based responses rather than heavily armed interventions. This divide has fueled anger and distrust not just toward federal officials, but also toward local leaders who are seen as unable to stand up strongly against such policies. At the same time, many community organizers point out that people of faith have always been crucial in resisting unfair policies and advocating for dignity. They emphasize that lasting change must come from empowering local voices and ensuring that residents are part of decision-making processes. Faith leaders continue to gather communities together to pray, to protest peacefully, and to push for comprehensive strategies that address poverty education gaps and racial inequality rather than short-term displays of force.
She understands that, but I can tell you the people of D.C. are thrilled.
Day. And as a man, I have to tell you, I am afraid. And so I hope that we come together to fight back, because these are dangerous times.
We don't need Trump to come in here telling us, but we still care about our community, we care about our loved one. And
Chicago and straighten it out. You know, Washington, D.C., you'll be happy to know, is a free and safe zone. It's so safe right now. It was.
A state and federal invasion. The invasion of federal troops is the same invasion that we will send to our enemies in other nations.
You have met your match. Well, Donald Trump thinks he has a hammer in his hand. And he thinks he can bring that hammer to Chicago. But he's about to find out